All right, so I'm gonna be going live with Blake Perry right now, who just came off a win in Bellator against McCall Cooper. Yeah, we both kind of have a similar background in that we both came to Oahu through the military, so should be interested to talk with him a little bit. How you guys doing? So I'm just waiting to bring Blake Perry on here right quick. He should be on here any moment. Fans view, how you doing? One second. All right, Blake, why don't you request to join, or I can send you another invite right at the bottom of the screen. Like I just sent you an invite to join the live. So you just have to accept it. All right, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, so I'm here with Blake Perry. He's coming off a win in Bellator over Makoa Cooper. You know, and I think this would be an interesting interview to do because we both kind of have some ties to Hawaii. So maybe talk to me about when you first got there. Do you remember what year it was?
Yeah, man, I got out there in 2018. Yeah, I started living out there.
Now, were you already training before you went out there or no?
So I grew up wrestling, wrestled pretty much my whole life in Ohio, and then started, doing like a lot of just training and stuff for MMA in like 2017, and then in 2018 I started training like for fights in Hawaii.
Now, where were you training at on Oahu?
United MMA. Out with Coach Ken Lee and his whole family, and there's a real good team out there. It's United MMA in YPO.
Oh, you mean the Lee family?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and so what did you think? What was it like for you when you get to Hawaii? What was your impressions when you first got there?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I love the obvious stuff. It's beautiful, and all the people are super welcoming and everything. And the training out there was pretty next level, man. You know, everybody out there is pretty solid. You know, if you go to gyms and from small ages, you know, everybody trains something out there. So it was definitely an awesome environment to learn in for sure.
And what was it like training with the Lees? I mean, I don't think I know anybody who did.
Yeah, man, it was super awesome because they're all great people just in general, but just from a MMA aspect was awesome too, because who better to learn from than, you're in a room with 3, 4 world champions, so the whole Lee family, from Christian, Angela, Victoria, Adrian now is coming up, and then Bruno is married to Angela, who's like a world champion as well. A bunch of other real tough professional fighters. There was like Spencer Iga, Titus Strickland, Ricky Ing. So I was always just a sponge trying to learn all I could from all of them.
Now, what made you settle on that gym? Were you living close by there?
Yeah, I was probably like 25 minutes away or so, 20, 25. There might have been gyms a little closer, but I just, it was a no-brainer for me. Just seeing who comes out of there, and I went there once and never stopped going.
Now, when did you first decide that you wanted to start fighting on Oahu?
Pretty much as soon as I got there, man, because I had been training prior to getting out there, and I knew I wanted to take a fight. So I started started training at United, and probably maybe 6 or 8 months after training there, Coach Ken ended up getting me my first fight in the end of 2018.
What promotion was it in?
Trinity is the name of it. Yeah, Trinity Kings. I think they have a show coming up really soon.
Yeah, Bob Ostovich's show.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've known Bob since the '90s.
Oh,
But
nice. Yeah. That's another tough family. Yeah.
so I mean, I know you had a few amateur fights. One of them was against Blake Cooper. So you come in here now, you're fighting McCall Cooper. But let's talk about how you got the fight, because you had already left when you got the fight, right? You weren't living on Oahu anymore.
No. No. Yeah. I live in California now.
But how did you politic to get the fight?
So that was majority of my coach, man. My coach Sonny Ramos was just staying in Bellator's ear, and yeah, man, that was a lot of him. He just staying after it, and kept putting my name out there. And we were trying to get on the San Jose show here in California originally, and then things just didn't quite line up and work out. And then, they announced that they were having a Hawaii show, and yeah, man, my coach just kept calling, throwing my name in, and sure enough, they ended up getting back to us and said, that they had an opponent lined up and everything if we wanted it, and of course we did, and the opponents wanted it as well, so it worked out perfect, man. It couldn't have been a better thing. It was like military appreciation night and the first MMA event in Hawaii in a few years, so it was definitely an awesome experience, and it could not have lined up better.
Now, are you still in the military right now?
I am, yeah. I'm in the Air Force in Fairfield, California.
Yeah, people don't leave the Air Force, so
Yeah,
that's the joke. Yeah, they never.
right.
But so you're coming back to Hawaii. You're fighting McCall Cooper. I mean, how you didn't live? You only lived on Hawaii maybe 4 years or so. Is that what?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So how did it feel to come back and fight one of those guys? You're kind of, even though you live there, they're bringing you kind of in enemy territory, so to speak, because you're fighting a local guy. Cooper's, he comes from a well-known fighting family on Oahu.
Sure.
So what was that like?
Yeah, man, it was just awesome to come back, and like I said, I'm not from Hawaii at all or anything, but in terms of fighting, it felt like kind of coming back home, really, because majority of my fights were in Hawaii. So in terms of the reception and atmosphere and everything, it was awesome. And yeah, I mean, I'm obviously familiar with their family and everything as well, and I've trained with them before, and they're super cool, and have always been real cool with me. And like I said, we fought in the past and fought again, so it was all good, man. It was an awesome opportunity for everyone involved, and yeah, I'm super stoked that it happened and how it happened, in Hawaii, and it was awesome, man.
Now let's kind of talk about the fight. Kind of give me like your overall kind of remembrance of the fight, or kind of what the experience was like.
Yeah, man. So the fight itself, yeah, just kind of, weather the storm. It was a rough start, for me. Didn't start off great, but it's kind of about how you finish, So we, just everything we drilled, man. It was, pretty much like verbatim what we drilled, in practice with me and my coach, just hitting the same moves a million times during camp, and, so that it just becomes muscle memory come fight time. And that way, in high stress situations, you don't have to think about it. You just fall into stuff and hop into stuff without having to, overly think about it, just muscle memory. And it's kind of exactly how it went down, man.
So you kind of expected that McCall was going to come out pretty aggressive.
Sure. Yeah. They're very, very aggressive fighters for sure.
And, you hit the anaconda. He seemed to be defending it pretty well. Maybe take us through the moves. Is that one that you hit a lot, or?
Yeah. I like the submissions like that. I'm long and skinny, so I like to hit the long, skinny guy chokes. Just use the attributes I have, like long limbs and stuff. So a lot of times the darces and anacondas, triangles, that type of thing are. There's something that are there a lot for me. And yeah, no, he defended it super well for quite a while. It's just, I think it was, later in the fight, and it's easier to sink in stuff when, people are tired. And so I think that, I'm sure, played a factor too. But yeah, man, just kind of trust in the process and trust in what I work on every day. And yeah, man, just have it sinked in and don't let go.
Now, you said you had trained with them before. Where was that?
It was at United. We had trained just like a couple times, maybe like once or twice. Just we would cross train, different teams on the island would get some work in together.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know that they were coming there. I think they had mostly been kind of training with their father, but so they
Yeah,
did.
yeah, they do majority. I'm sure. This was like literally probably like 1 day, 2 days, just for different looks. But yeah, just like a day or two, probably 3, 4 years ago now.
Now, I did have someone ask, when did you know that you had the move, had the choke?
I would say probably after the first and second defense. Once I was able to get back on top at the end, I knew that's a pretty, from being in the choke myself before, I know that's a rough position to be in. So once I was on top, I was able to transition back on top. I knew it had to be getting pretty tight. So.
Now, you win the fight. What did Bellator tell you as far as, if you're going to have some more fights because you won that?
Yeah, so I haven't heard anything yet, man. I would love to. I would absolutely love to fight for Bellator again. If they come through California later in the year, I would love to be on that show, man, for sure. It was an awesome experience, and everyone was super super cool to me in the promotion, and just it was an awesome night, man. Awesome week. So I would love nothing more than to keep that rolling with Bellator. But I'm open to whatever. Kind of whoever wants me, because I'm not under no contracts or anything. It was just a single fight thing. So I would absolutely love to fight for them again. But in terms of hearing specifically what's next, I'm still kind of an open book, man. Just waiting to hear.
So that's interesting. You didn't get any feedback from them at all.
Yeah, little bits. I talked to some of the guys in the promotion, and the typical stuff like good job, and they hit a quick little interview with me backstage. But yeah, haven't heard yet in terms of a solid, this is what's happening next type thing.
Okay. So you're just kind of open to fighting in any promotion. I mean, there's quite a few in California, so.
Yeah. I guess that's one nice thing, is that everything's back up, firing on all cylinders again in like the MMA world. So yeah, man, I'm open to whatever. Like I said, I would love nothing more than to fight for Bellator again next. I want that. I would love that. But I'm open to whatever. Any other opportunities that seem like they're a way to go. Yeah, man, we'll hop on them.
Now, when you left Oahu, where are you training at now as far as in California? What kind of gym are you training with?
So the Team Nobody is the name of the team that I train with, right here in Fairfield, California. Sassoon City is the address. It's a little part basically of Fairfield. The name of the gym is the Train for Life Center. Under Anthony Ramos. Call him Sonny. Yeah, man, it's got a super stacked team out there. We got 3 fights coming up back to back to back from our gym. All people that absolutely to keep eyes on. Got one of the top amateurs right now, Houston Skibeck, is fighting in a couple weeks. And then the week after that, Terrence Saturn is making his pro debut for A1 Combat on UFC Fight Pass. He was a number 1 125-pounder amateur in all of California. So he's absolutely one to keep your eyes on for sure. He's coming up. And then Cesar Gonzalez, longtime pro, is fighting for Cage Warriors again. He just won for Cage Warriors, and he'll be fighting for them again in San Diego in June 10th. So definitely, it's a smaller gym, but a lot of big things coming out of it for sure, man.
Is Fairfield a place that has a lot of gyms around, or what's? I mean, I know some of the bases are kind of some are out in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere, but
Yeah, I think that area of California, like I've only been out here a year, but from what I've seen, it's a pretty popular MMA place. You know, there's a lot of smaller gyms, and then there's lots of pretty big name, world renowned ones like Team Alpha Males right here in Sac, AKAs right in San Jose. Kind of yeah, there's a lot of tough gyms, man. A lot of tough fighters. So it's kind of the spot to be, man. If you're out here, it's definitely it's pretty popping.
so you're pretty close to Sacramento, then.
Yeah, yeah, right. But I actually live in Woodland, probably 15 minutes from Sac, something like that. 15, 20 minutes.
Now, what did you do when you came back to the island, aside from getting ready for the fight?
I pretty much ate everything. That's for sure. Had a lot of good food. I went out there with my girlfriend and family. So, leading up to the fight was pretty business. It was got to enjoy little things here and there, but it was lots of busy stuff. Lots of like meetings and weight checks and training. And I mean, yeah, you know how it goes. Pretty regimented, scheduled stuff before the fight. But then right after the fight, we were able to kind of, relax and enjoy our last few days there. What did we do? We went to a shooting range. It was pretty fun. Hit up a couple different beaches. Just kind of relaxed. Like I said, ate a bunch of good food. Went out to some spots. Yeah, it was nice to see some old friends and everybody, and get to go do some fun stuff with the family.
Where'd you eat at?
Oh, where did we go? We went to Tropics one night. Went to Duke's Waikiki and hammered through their breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
Where else did we go? We went to got to hit up Foodland, get some poke. What else did we eat? One spot, some real fancy place, right there downtown on Waikiki on the beach. I can't, for some reason I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but yeah, I got some real fancy lobster pasta and kind of lived it up for a night.
Yeah, that's cool that you could
Yeah.
go back there and fight and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, which gym were you getting ready at? I mean, you probably still had to cut some weight or whatever. Where were you preparing?
So actually, man, because it was they had pretty strict COVID regulations still. So I would have loved to go back to United and train. And I had actually talked to a couple of guys from United, and we had it all ready to go. And they were super welcoming, like, yeah, come through and train. But actually, Bellator had pretty strict COVID regulations, so we had to stay in the hotel all week. Even for training, they had like specific times for each corner or whatever to come in. But yeah, there was just like ballrooms that were emptied with like mats set out and stuff to train in. So pretty much just we didn't leave the hotel grounds for a full week, and did all of our training and everything there. Just me and my coach, and my teammate Terrence. Just yeah, I had to get all of our training in right there at the hotel at the Hilton in Waikiki for the week because, like I said, we weren't allowed to leave the hotel grounds. So we had to make do in the hotel.
Is that because of Hawaii? I think Hawaii is still kind of strictly regulating some things.
Yeah, they seemed it was pretty strict. I think the island itself is pretty back open, like the mask mandate, everything's dropped. But I know the Bellator specifically was pretty on top of it, in terms of what we could and couldn't do, kind of thing. So, like I said, I would love to go back to United and train, and had plans to before I realized the how strict they were going to be with keeping us at the hotel, kind of thing. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go out there and train, but we got in plenty right there at the hotel.
That's kind of interesting that they were doing that. If the island came back up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer, but is what it is, man.
Now, realistically, how many fights do you think you'd want to have this year if you could?
So what is it now? May? I would love to get in there one or two more times, man, for the year. Because I was pretty fortunate to make it out without any injuries, nothing like that. So I feel good now, and just moving forward with my coaches, man. I'd love to hop back in there whenever. Yeah, but like I said, if they see any opportunities that are good ones to hop on, for sure, move forward with that. Or, whatever, like I said, Bellator comes through San Jose because that's like the headquarters. I'd love to fight for them again when they come back. Um, but yeah, man, just kind of waiting to hear, see what's next.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your wrestling background. I know you brought that up, but kind of how much, like, when you're competing, did you win state or?
No, man, to be 100% real, I was never like that good. I was a solid guy on the team, but I was never like a super standout in high school and especially not in college. But yeah, no, in high school, I was always like a district qualifier, which is like the middle one in Ohio. There's sectionals, district, and state, but I never even made state in high school, man. Never even made it there at all. And then wrestled at Baldwin Wallace University, right there in Cleveland, right outside in a town called Berea, but basically Cleveland. Yeah, man, wrestled there for 4 years, and just a ton of fun, and it helps a lot in my MMA game. Not even like just, obviously wrestling for MMA, but just more the mindset thing, man, because wrestling, no matter how good you are or whatever, that just makes you tough, man, just mentally, because you get thrown into situations all the time, where you want to just stop and quit and just remember back to those old times of all the stuff we used to do, man. So that helps me a ton today, just from like a mindset aspect. Yeah, man, I think about the Baldwin Wallace wrestling room all the time, man. So shout out to all those guys, JTM.
Yeah, and Ohio's a really tough wrestling state, so it's pretty deep all the time.
Yeah, man, it's a meat grinder for sure.
So, as we're kind of winding down the interview, I was wanting to know, like, for people that are watching this, or if there's anything interesting that you might have wanted to touch on, or where they could follow you, those kind of things.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. So first off, I just want to thank all my sponsors and everything. They were awesome, man. Because like I said, without all of them, the trip to Hawaii and all that wouldn't even have been a thought. It would have been too much, But luckily, I had. I think my coach ended up getting, I want to say, upwards of almost 20 sponsors, between 15, 20 sponsors, all that contributed greatly and have been with me since the start. So that means a lot, man. Especially someone with a 0-0 record, for them to help financially. That's really going out on a limb, and it helped me a ton, man. So, like, truly helped me, because, like I said, we never would have been able to travel. And, thanks to my sponsors, me and my coach and teammate Terrence were all able to, go do all what we needed. I'd had all my nutrition, training, everything all set aside, thanks to my sponsors. So big shout out to them first. And, like I said, all my team, like I already touched on, Terrence, Houston, Caesar, my buddy Amini, all the guys I grapple with, my buddy Nick, I see him down there. Yeah, man. So just shout out to all them. Thanks to my teammates and everything. All my old teammates at Baldwin Wallace. I don't know if any of them are watching, but a big shout out to them, man. And yeah, if they want to follow me, obviously if you're watching this on Instagram, they already follow me, but it's Blake MMA 170. And as far as social media, it's pretty much all I got is Instagram. But yeah, just quick thank you to everybody that helped me a lot along the way. And I'm pumped to move forward, man. It's nice to get that win, but get, short memory. It's just another win, and I'm looking forward to what's next more than the past. So I can't wait, man. Just keep focusing on what I need to work on, tighten up the holes, because there's, I got the win, but there's a ton of areas that are pretty obvious that I need to work on, and I can't wait to tighten those up so those aren't an issue anymore, and keep knocking out some wins and make a name for myself, bro.
Now, before I let you go, I do want to ask you, like, from your time on Oahu, what are some of your like favorite local spots, whether it's to hang out or eat or?
All right, great question. So, got to go eggs and things. We hit up there for breakfast one morning. I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, I love that spot, man. All the killer pancakes, waffles, omelets, all that stuff. Anything poke, dude. I love Foodlands. Always, I know it's basic, but I love their poke, man. So, local spots I like. Yeah, anything. They're mostly food places. I love I love food places. You know, Waimea Bay is beautiful. Trying to think of other spots. And then from a military standpoint, you know, if you're visiting, definitely check out the Pearl Harbor Museum's pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's just I would say if someone's visiting, go check out a ton of spots and go hit up gyms, man. It's got the best gyms in the world. All kinds of shows. Big shows coming through, bunch of MMA shows opening up. There's also they do the smoker shows. I see Piper joined. He's putting on Rising Kings promotions, been killing it. So yeah, man, there's just a million things to do if you go out there, and definitely yeah, get in all you can. And yeah, I'd say those are my recommendations just for my few years there of local spots. I would say lots of good food places, lots of cool outdoor stuff, and then check out up and coming fighters for sure.
I always got like the sandwiches from Foodland, like at the deli.
Hey, those are good too, bro. Yeah, dude, those are killer, man.
The deli, but I mean, I think this is good. But I used to go to Original Pancake House a lot, which is on top.
There you go.
I used
yeah,
to,
man.
They knew what I wanted by the time I got there.
The regular.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. They knew what I wanted whenever I came in there. Now, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this, and I appreciate you taking the time. I couldn't do these interviews without people.
Well, hey, man, it's very mutual, you know, because without a platform, you know, a lot of people wouldn't even know that we were fighting without guys like you. So thank you for the time and all you guys do, man, because it's the fighters get a lot of spotlight. You know, we always, people are telling us good job and all this stuff, but you guys don't get credit like you should. So, you know, all the research you guys do and the platform you give us makes it way more fun for us, but two, from a marketing standpoint, you know, it's guys like you that, you know, give me this time of day that, you know, a bunch of people will watch and otherwise wouldn't have even known. So thank you, man, for real.
Now, if you get bigger and bigger, like in Bellator or whatever, is it going to be hard to balance Air Force and fighting, or?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good question. We're gonna see, because I'm coming up. I'm in my last year of my contract. So yeah, I got some little bit of soul searching to do, see what's up. But definitely the goal is to I want to fight full time, man, because it's military's cool and it's been awesome to me. But my passion is fighting, you know, 100%. So definitely that'll dictate what I do. But yeah, like I said, no complaints. I love everything the military has given me, and honestly, it's given me the opportunity to travel and further my fighting career a lot. But yeah, combat sports has been my thing since I was a little kid, man. So definitely that's where my heart is. And you know, you're only young once, you know. I don't want to look back when I'm too old to fight and be like, man, I wish I would have committed more or whatever. I'm all in fighting, and you know, that's my life. So that's what I want to do full time for sure.
Do they press you to stay in though?
Oh yeah, of course, man. Getting towards the end of the contract, and you know, they're like, well, what about the benefits and re-enlistment bonus? Don't forget about that, you know. But which, you know, it's all very true. So like I said, I got a little soul searching to do myself, but definitely, like I said, it's I want fighting to be what I do. So we'll see, man.
The retirement is the one thing I would say. Like, I got out about almost 10 years, but I know guys that are like younger than me that are getting money for the rest of their lives, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's true, man. You're right.
like, holy shit, you know, like I didn't even think, you know, when I got out, Although I don't think I would have wanted to stay. I was on submarines. I don't know if I would have wanted to continue. But
Exactly.
I know some guys, they just sit around. Like I have friends here. Man, they aren't working. I'm still working my ass off still, you know.
Right? Yeah, definitely. That's fun, man.
But that's the only thing that I would. Maybe if I look back, I might have done it. You know, stayed. But the
Uh-huh.
rest, I was kind of like over at that point.
Yeah, you got to listen to what you do at the time, man. Because at the end of the day, it's still several years of your life. So if you weren't feeling it, I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, I think so. That's the only thing that I look back on. Like, damn, this guy over here, he just does whatever he wants all the time. And
Right?
yeah, so that's the only thing. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'll be looking out for your next fight, man. I'd love to have you come back. We can
I
do some.
appreciate it. I would love to come back.
All right, man. Well, it's great meeting you and great talking with you. And
All right. You too, Todd.
yeah, we'll talk story again sometime.
All right, you got it, bro. All
All
right,
right.
thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.